Alright, if you've watched the first part, I told you that the narcissist reads a lot, is addicted to reading, and not only for the addiction, I forgot to mention that the the more information the narcissist gets, the more he can impress people and get his ego stroked. The more he can get narcissistic supply by showing how informed and intelligent the narcissist is. And then later he might even start thinking that you were only with him or only with her because he has the information, the amount of information, and that you are, at least I heard that I was taking advantage of her intelligence and stealing from her knowledge, in implying that she owns the knowledge. That's the a sign of a bad person when she considers that I own the knowledge and I'm not gonna teach you anything. Uh, when in fact it was the narcissist who came closer to you because of your knowledge, of your intelligence, your informations, and your emotions. You think about it. She was married, she was in a stable union. She seduced me. She came to me. I wasn't looking for any relationship whatsoever in my life. She began to write me and write me, and by the way, something I didn't mention in the first part, cerebral narcissists are the ones that are gonna look for romantic relationships, and romantic friendships, which are, if you didn't read about it, are the ones that happen at the distance, from the distance, via emails only, via letters. It's a very ancient custom and dates back to Greece, maybe Egypt, when people would be in love with each other by only by writing letters, you know, through correspondence. I know that some composers, famous composers, some of them were in love with their admirers. I don't know if Beethoven or Tchaikovsky. I don't remember. Probably Tchaikovsky had a relationship like that. Anyway, okay, at the end of the first part, I told you I was going to tell you about a character, and I want you to do some research, which is we're going to be very pleasurable, uh, which is about the character, a narcissistic character. She is a comedian, or rather, he is a comedian called Barry Humphries, and the character is Dame Edna Everage. Look on YouTube for her interviews and some shows that she did, particularly the one with André Rieu, and she is a narcissist, female narcissist. You're gonna see all the signs, and she will make you laugh because she says the most horrible things, and you're gonna be able to identify the narcissism and the sickness in everything she says and she talks about. And and she's always she always has the friendship with the top people in the world, which is a great sign of narcissism. And she's always the best, and the other people are always less. She always the best dressed person. She did lots of interviews for the English guy. Oh my God, very famous English interviewer that you can look for on YouTube. They made not own. Oh my God, I forgot the name of it's an old guy now. Very famous interviewer. I forgot. Okay. So go look for that. Another thing I want to show you is a cartoon And this cartoon is very makes me afraid at the same time. Not funny. It is funny, but it's not funny to me. I saw it once on uh, my narc's Facebook profile or timeline. It was her, you know, the sister of her husband. I don't know how you call it in the States or in the UK. The sister of her husband sent it to her Facebook timeline, and probably because they had discussions about her sexless marriage, with they had those discussions. So her sister will be sister-in-law. No, I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, it is a cartoon that I'm gonna put on the screen there for you to see. And I'm gonna put it right now. And as you can see, there is obviously a couple in bed, and the guy saying, "I'm guessing you're not in the mood," which of course would be the victim of the narcissist. And the cerebral narcissist, in this case the smart woman in my case, but it can be the smart guy in your case, is not gonna have sex, not interested in sex, and will do anything, will be aggressive, to take aggressive measures to stop you from talking about sex, demand asking for sex, and lots of defensiveness. Who will be very aggressive he needs to. And as you can see, the woman is there reading. She gets off on reading because of the addiction, of course, and because she wants to get narcissistic supply uh, after she shows the knowledge to the world. And the guy is there in a sexless marriage for a long time, which is a form of emotional abuse. If you think about his side of the story. This will happen for a long time. Will be emotional abuse for him. The wound in the relationship is gonna make him look for sex somewhere else, and of course he's gonna lose his self-esteem because of that. And well, that's horrible. I was in his place, but I felt it cerebrally, because I was with a cerebral narcissist, of course. I started to look for other girls, but at the same time I felt guilty because I felt I owned my loyalty to the narcissist. But and you see, with the cerebral narcissist, it's all cerebral and mental and emotion. Okay, that's why they call it emotional friendship and emotional infidelity. The narcissist will be emotionally unfaithful because of his relationships with other people, cerebrally and emotionally. She will have relationship via social media, like it happened to me, or he will be unfaithful via social media. And just to give you a little bit of scientific approval or scientific credit to what I'm saying, scientists, they say that emotional infidelity is just as damaging as sexual infidelity. And it can be even more damaging, they say. And of course, emotional infidelity can become sexual infidelity too, if the narcissist so desires, which I wouldn't. I would no doubt, the somatic will want you to be sexually unfaithful too. Okay, I'm gonna take this off the screen now, and so this cartoon was on her timeline, and I never forgot it. Never forgot it. And I searched for it a few moments ago, maybe 1 hour ago, and I'm glad I could find it on the internet. It wasn't hard to find, and for me, it was very scarring to see this image, because I didn't feel it, I didn't live this image sexually, but I lived it emotionally. Couldn't talk about sex. Of course, I couldn't have sex, think about having sex, because of her defense mechanisms. And if you see in the image again, I'm gonna put it in the screen again. There is a lot of defensiveness. There's a wall. In my case, the narcissist will use the marriage, which she was gonna say, "Oh, my marriage is not going well," but anyway, the marriage will prevent you to get closer to the narcissist. So she will use the marriage as a wall, so that you can feel you won't even try to get sexually close and even have a relationship. From the start, she cut my balls. She cut my balls. It's just funny to say that, but it's true. And they say the female narcissist, to use a more pretty word, to use a prettier word and prettier grammar, the narcissist emasculated me. The female narcissist, they love to emasculate you. Now, I don't know how it goes when the narcissist is a male, and he's gonna take your dignity as a woman, probably. And okay, so that image was very I lived it. I lived what is being said in the cartoon, And towards the end of the relationship, she wasn't even in a mood for romantic talk either. That gradually she became colder and colder and more unavailable, and until she would just simply stop talking to me via social media. And I would be very confused and afraid and in love, and I would feel the need to have her, and she wouldn't talk to me. And it wasn't until I said, "I want to talk to you," and I said, "I want to see you more, I want to talk to you more, why are you not talking to me?" And then she had a rage attack, and she said the relationship was over, and you made me lose my time by coming here and talk to you. She punished me for asking for some explanations. And that's absurd, as you might be thinking, and cruel and inhuman. But that's how it goes. You get punished for everything you ask. And no wonder I had PTSD, right? And okay, the other image I want to show you is from the series Hannibal. I encourage you to watch it. I guess there are 3 seasons. I felt very scared when I watched it, because I relived my relationship with the narc, and that's exactly how it happened. And if you're in a state of just being discarded, if you watch it, in one way, you're gonna feel validated, because you see that that's out there. People know it, and they even produce series and books about it. Very validating, but also very scary, but also very when they teach you is okay, you're gonna learn a lot. You're gonna learn a lot if you watch that. But in the movie, there is a chapter where in the series, there is an episode and a very poetic image when the woman, which is being victimized by Hannibal, which is the psychopath, she was seduced and brainwashed by him. There is an image that she's I guess she was dreaming, and her unconscious or subconscious was showed her an image, and she was lying down in the bed, and she was gradually being uh, filled. The bed was being filled with a dark liquid, which to me is a very poetic way of uh, expressing how the poison of the narcissist's words and ideas and projections and uh, uh, manipulations and tactics, which are lots, and verbal abuse tactics and gaslighting tactics. It's a way how to very poetic image that shows that all this morbid and sick influence of the narcissist brainwashes you, makes you change yourself in order to please the narcissist and to have the relationship under his or her conditions. And in the end, you are just so brainwashed that you don't recognize yourself. I'm gonna show you the image now. There you have beautiful image. I don't know if I'm gonna have copyright issues because of this image. I hope not. And then the second image, which is her completely almost drowned in the poison of the psychopath's mind. And here we go. That's it, very poetic. If you watch that thing, if you haven't watched it yet, I recommend it, highly recommend it. Okay, so taking the image away from the screen now, and that's the how things with cerebral narcissist works. And now, the cerebral narcissist is a very dangerous person because of course he's cerebral, and the cerebral way, as I told you in the first part, cerebral way of doing things is seducing you gradually to the point you won't notice anything wrong, because the narcissist will use the mask. I guess the cerebral narcissist is the more sophisticated of the narcissist, because he will put a mask. He will show you the image that you want to see in a romantic partner, and he will use the mask of the most beautiful person, the most beautiful thing, something that he's not. And he will be it will be during the seduction phase, which might take a year and a half, or even 2 years. He will be the most polite person you ever will come across, most beautiful, sophisticated, most intelligent, most romantic, sentimental, and he will show you only that face, and he will hide everything that's ugly about him or her. Hide, deception. If you remember Sun Tzu in The Art of War, deception is, as he says, the one of the most important things in war is deception. Deception is in the heart of warfare. So the narcissist will be deceptive. He will hide everything ugly about her past or about herself, and behave you like the queen of heaven or the king of heaven. But at the end, you will see that it's completely the opposite. She will not hide the monster that she is, the asshole. She will stink emotionally. She will stink mentally. But that will only be like this at the end of the relationship. And during the emotional abuse, after you get hooked, the emotional abuse will escalate. She will get uglier and uglier and uglier and out of control. But the cerebral narcissist is scary because he will be a normal. He will act normal. He will blend. He will wear the sheep's clothing. that remembers and reminds me of the book Wolf in Sheep's Clothing by, I forgot the name of the author. You just look for it; it's amazing. Uh, but you get, because I'm talking about the cerebral, I'm very amazed about how predatory this cerebral narcissist is, because he's very patient, uh, like a like a predator, who stalks his prey, which we're gonna be stalking lots of prey at the same time. And he waits a year. You're gonna grab lots of information and remember all that information, the information that she's gonna collect over the years or over the months. She's gonna store that and then use it to manipulate you, to seduce you, and later in the relationship to demand things from you, to point your problems. If you ask for, hey, don't treat me like that, and then she's gonna say, well, who you are to ask me that? Are you perfect? uh, are you? So she's gonna grab that information and use that against you. And that's why I feel so scary about the cerebral narcissist. She will be normal, he will be normal, and seduce you. You're gonna think you're in a normal relationship, and when you realize you're sick, you're too deep. You're sick yourself. So there's no way out. Um, the cerebral narcissist will defend himself. Is very smart in order to seduce you, use you, discard you, so that he won't face the consequences of his actions, of her actions. So from the beginning, there will be walls protecting her from your revenge or from any retaliation that you might give her or him when she discards you. So the fact of the narcissist being married is one wall. She will be protected there. The fact the narcissist had a relationship with you via social media, and my narcissist even told me, delete all the conversations we have, because then I'm gonna be safer, because there are so many viruses on the internet and I'm so afraid that things will get so she was only protecting herself. And I didn't I deleted all the conversations we have, but not before saving it all in my hard drive, because I felt I would be safer that way. But I deleted from Facebook, from I deleted all the conversations. But if I wanted to, I would have exposed her and fucked with her marriage. But I didn't, because that would give me more problems. And she will also try to protect herself legally, and she will have the support of her family also, because of course her family will be all sick people like her or like him. And the cerebral narcissist will think about everything, every process, every phase of the relationship before it happens, so that he will be protected from your retaliations when it ends. And the danger of the cerebral narcissist is that he is very smart, she is very smart. She's not emotionally intelligent, not emotionally mature, not even smart in the true sense or intelligent in the true sense. She was just well informed, and they can create strategies to protect their ego, to protect themselves from any retaliation and any bad influence from you concerning her appearance towards the outside world. Because remember, she needs supply, and she has to protect her image, and her image has to be very well protected, because she needs the other secondary sources of supply. And She will be even sexual again. Of course, it will be fake, but she will seduce other sources by giving them sexual compliments and stuff. But don't be fooled. The cerebral narcissist hates sex, and she will just use it to get supply. Um, Let me see if I have anything else to add about the cerebral narcissist. The devastation caused by the cerebral narcissist can be only emotional and mental. She might make you go crazy, she might make you kill yourself and lose faith in religion. If you have faith, you will lose, you will be very run the risk of being very bitter, fall into the hands of the embitterment disorder, PTSD, and it will take you years to recover, at least 3 years. Okay, I'm saying this for because of my experience and because reading other experiences online. And if the cerebral narcissist so desires, he can get you in a pretty hard devastating legal issue either, because there is the cerebral narcissist, which was my doctor at the university. He was before being a doctor in literature, he was he graduated in law. You know, he could have been a lawyer, so he can pretty much fuck you up in a legal arena, because cerebral narcissists are very informed and they will have contacts with other well-informed and devastating and bad people. So if the narcissist so desires, he can take that, he can expose things to the socially, you know, not it will not only get in mentally and psychologically. Of course, if the cerebral narcissist abandons you and the relationship was only mental and emotional, you will be very alone and you will have to carry a very heavy weight emotionally and mentally and psychologically, alone. And you can't count on people, like, because the narcissist will isolate you, like the somatic. The cerebral will isolate you from the ones that you had contact with: father, mother, grandma, grandpa, sisters. You won't be able to connect with anyone anymore, because the connection was so strong chemically in your brain with the narcissist that the other relationships will not provide you with the food that you had before with the narcissist. It was so intense, you know, the discharge of oxytocin and all the serotonin and the other chemicals of pleasure and of bonding. I guess that's all I had to say about the cerebral narcissist, about my experience, and I hope it helps someone out there. And thank you for watching, and hopefully I'm gonna come back and talk more about other things that I had time to think about, and I feel that they are worth mentioning on this channel. Thank you very much, and thank you for your time.